it was just an absolute mess of a situation. So the problems were just multiple. I mean, they had operations side rejecting every idea they ever presented them. They had service issues. They were selling product and then the products would fail. Customers were leaving them, which we called customer attrition, was extremely high. Customer service department was just absolutely in disarray. Nobody gave a crap about supporting the salespeople. The salespeople and the sales force was just at the bottom of the barrel. So maybe you can identify with this in your organization because it does happen oftentimes, and it's a tough thing to turn around. But nonetheless, it can be turned around. So anyway, I knew that there was a lot of these issues, and in our first sales meeting, I found myself I kind of had these thoughts that I had made this huge error in even ever taking on this position, and it just seemed like an absolute hellhole to step into. But anyway, so I decided that I knew that there was a lot of problems, and this sort of sales mating was looming, and I knew I had to kind of come around and figure out a very novel way to approach these people, because either way, if I didn't, then I was just going to have anarchy on my hands. So on the day of my first sales meeting, the first time I was going to address the salespeople sort of in a large group, I sort of thought to myself, I said, if I was them, what would I want to hear if I were one of them? And I sort of had a strategy as to what I wanted to do, but I didn't quite know until I actually got up there and I sort of saw them all kind of glaring at me. Who is this new guy taking over the sales team? So anyway, I was standing before them, and I decided that I turned conventional reason on its head. My boss would say, go out there and set your expectations. Tell them what you want from them. So that was sort of the mandate for this sales meeting. So anyway, I thought better of it, and I said instead, I got up there and I took out the chalkboard and I asked them, I said, listen, I'm the new boss, I'm the new guy in charge, but I'm not going to tell you what it is that I want from you. I instead urged my salespeople to tell me exactly what they expected of me instead of what I expected of them. So to their widespread sort of shock and amazement, they're fully expecting me to lay this out, these expectations about 20 colorful PowerPoint slides, that kind of thing, what my expectations are, do your business plan, this is all this stuff that I need you to do, what your call reporting is going to be. And instead of doing that, I just pulled out the chalkboard or the flip chart and I said, you tell me what you want. You tell me what it is that you need from me. So they were all kind of stunned and they didn't really want to tell me, but I had turned the tables without them ever suspecting it. And I was going to start this relationship off differently than they had probably ever experienced. And, I had done my homework, and the previous guy that I was taking the job over was kind of a self-absorbed narcissist who only really cared about himself. But I knew that they had all kinds of issues. So as they talked, I wrote down every one of their ideas on a flip chart. And I actually kept the flip chart, and I think I still have it to this very day. And their comments were like this. They said, first off, number one was fight for us. Number two was ask for our side of the story before you accuse us. Number three was be our advocate to the other departments. Number four was help us win new business. Number five was tell the truth. Number six was get your ideas across to upper management and then get them approved. Number seven was help improve service. And number 8 was call us back when we call you. So they had about 10 or 15 of them, but those were kind of the biggies. So after finally exhausting all their demands, and I was up there for probably a half hour, I said, all right, here's the deal. I said, I'll give you all those things that you expect of me. Now I'd like you to tell me what I have a right to expect from you. So, all right, so I'm not even telling them how I want to lead them yet. I know what I need to do. I've got this long list. But then I asked them, all right, here's the other side of the equation here. Tell me what I should expect from you. And they're all mature salespeople. So their responses sort of came slowly at first, but they picked up pace as they grew. And they were like this. They started in, they said, okay, put in a hard day's work, show initiative, exceed quota, do our paperwork and our calls reporting on time. And they also said, provide fast responses on requests for information and be honest at all times. And so they went on and on and on. But those are about the top 5 or 6, which are very good things for them to tell me. I mean, I couldn't have said it any better. So, and if you do this to your sales team, then you're going to be surprised at what you're going to hear. So let me pose this to you: what would have happened if I had sort of laid down the law and dictated to them what I wanted? Do you think I would have gotten any sort of buy-in to my message? And I doubt if I probably would have. So here's the thing, though. We made it sort of a moral bargain between us, and I felt as long as I lived up to my end of the bargain, they would be determined to live up to theirs. So we made this sort of moral contract together. And this started our relationship off really on the right foot. There was no PowerPoint presentation. There was no list of expectations. And, I added a few, I think, to the expectations just sort of because of company policy and whatnot. But here's the thing, though. I mean, this team was in the cellar, just absolutely at the bottom out of 82 sales districts in the country. And the results for the coming year were just absolutely phenomenal. And our district ended up the year number 2 out of 82 in the country, and I think they were ranked in the low 70s the year before. Now, did the opening speech cause that to happen? Not necessarily. I didn't really even do a speech, but in combination with other messages that we're going to go through here. I mean, this is talking about a sales team that's just most disgruntled team that I've ever taken over, and turning them around in a year so that they achieve and taste success. I mean, this is the essence of sales management, and very satisfying sales management. But, was it just that speech? Probably not, but it was a combination of a lot of different things. But I did set the tone for the remainder of the year. And here's why this works. Salespeople prefer to feel that they're doing things not because they've been told to do them, but because they decided to do it upon their own. And when you let your salespeople and when you let your sales managers do this for your salespeople, the salespeople feel that since the decisions are theirs, they're now vested in that eventual outcome of that decision. They feel that they're a part of the decision-making process. Investing is a huge factor in getting people to do what you want them to do as a sales leader. And this is what we call lead by being led. So I would highly encourage you to start rethinking how you lead your sales team right now. And this isn't necessarily has to be done in a sales meeting per se. It can be done in one-on-one conversations. But turning the tables on leadership is a great way to get people to tell you what you should expect of them. And by doing that, you create this moral compact or contract between you and them, and then that is the essence of great leadership. And it's called lead by being led. So do this in your next sales meeting, or maybe in your next ride along, or maybe your short sort of sales strategy session with a couple of your salespeople, or highly encourage your sales managers to listen to this show and implement this the next time they feel like their sales leadership isn't up to snuff, because it will tremendously impact their sales leadership's ability as well as increase sales revenue, which is ultimately our goal here on the show. Now, for hundreds of other sales management techniques and strategies such as this one, you can find them in the Sales Management Mastery Academy, along with dozens of done-for-you resources to help your sales managers achieve ultimate sales management success. To claim your free test drive of the Sales Management Mastery Academy, visit salestraininggift.com. That's it for this week's episode of Sales Management Mastery. Until next time, wishing you ultimate sales management success.